Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip.
For millions of viewers, those opening lines are an instant ticket to nostalgia, but behind the laughter lay a production constantly teetering on the edge of disaster. From casting near misses that would have altered television history to severe hazards, real-world tragedies in the credits, and the network politics that doomed the castaways, the story behind the camera is far more dramatic than the scripts. Welcome to Sitcom Secrets, where every rewatch reveals something new. Let's get into it. Fact 10. The career-sinking casting rejection. Here's a casting near-miss that completely reframes the legendary show's legacy. The titular bumbling mate was almost played by a completely different actor who thought the show was a career-killing disaster. Before he became famous as the lovable but dim-witted Luther Van Dam on the hit sitcom Coach, Jerry Van Dyke was the absolute first choice to play Gilligan. Sherwood Schwartz was desperate to sign him, but Van Dyke famously turned it down, declaring the pilot script the worst thing I'd ever read. Instead, he chose to star in a bizarre comedy called My Mother the Car, about a man whose mother is reincarnated as a 1928 Porter touring car. That series was cancelled after a single season and went down in history as one of the worst television shows ever made, while Bob Denver stepped in as Gilligan and secured his place in pop culture history. It is a delicious irony of show business that in fleeing a show he thought would ruin him, Jerry Van Dyke ran straight into a legendary disaster. In Hollywood, a seemingly foolish shipwreck can sometimes be the safest harbor. Fact 9. The skipper who almost built a different bunker. Most people assume Alan Hale Jr. was the only man ever considered for the skipper, but the network actually pushed to cast a performer who went on to define a completely different era of television. Long before he became the loudmouthed patriarch Archie Bunker on All in the Family, Carroll O'Connor auditioned for the role of Jonas Grummy, the skipper. Creator Sherwood Schwartz wanted someone who balanced physical authority with warmth and slapstick ability. While O'Connor was a brilliant actor, his audition carried an undercurrent of anger and intensity that Schwartz felt was far too heavy for the sitcom's light-hearted tone. O'Connor was rejected, and Hale won the part by instantly radiating the lovable, teddy bear energy the producers wanted. While O'Connor missed out on the island, it spared him from years of being hit with a bucket hat and paved the way for his legendary run as TV's most famous bigot. CBS got the perfect skipper, and history got two iconic characters. Fact 8. The pilot character formula that failed to float. Think you know the 7 castaways who boarded the SS Minnow? The original plan for the crew was actually a bizarre collection of personalities that would have changed the show's dynamic entirely. In the unaired pilot, titled Marooned, the professor was a high school teacher played by John Gabriel, styled as a leading man. More shockingly, the characters of Ginger and Mary did not exist. Instead, the female passengers were 2 secretaries named Ginger and Bunny, played by Kit Smythe and Nancy McCarthy. Ginger was a sarcastic realist, while Bunny was a cheerful, ditzy blonde. Network executives realized that having 2 secretaries ruined the social contrast of the group, leading Schwartz to replace them with a glamorous movie star and a sweet farm girl. This massive creative overhaul saved the series from early cancellation, proving that the perfect ensemble requires a delicate balance of social archetypes. We'll dive into how the show's theme song also had a secret history, but more on that at Fact 5. Fact 7. The Navy and Coast Guard rescue operations. It sounds like an urban legend, but the federal government was repeatedly forced to address a bizarre public panic caused by viewers who couldn't tell the difference between a sitcom and a documentary. During the show's original run, the U.S. Coast Guard received letters, phone calls, and telegrams from citizens demanding to know why they were ignoring the stranded passengers of the SS Minnow. Many viewers took the premise literally, believing a real group of castaways was stranded on a deserted island and that CBS was broadcasting their survival footage. Creator Sherwood Schwartz recalled a bewildered Coast Guard commander handing him a stack of official telegrams, asking the producer to set the record straight. This bizarre phenomenon highlights the strange power of television to blur the lines of reality. It is a testament to the cast's charm that audiences cared enough to demand a military rescue, even if it meant deploying the Navy for a fictional bumbling sailor. Fact 6. The studio lot lagoon of toxic hazards. The tropical paradise where the castaways spent their days was actually a miserable, polluted Hollywood backlot plagued by freezing temperatures and traffic noise. While the show looked like a sunny getaway, the lagoon was a man-made set constructed at the CBS Studio Center in Studio City, California. The water was regular tap water that quickly became stagnant, leading to a scummy, bacteria-filled pool that actors detested. Even worse, the set was located directly adjacent to the Ventura Freeway, meaning filming was halted every time a loud truck drove past or a siren wailed, forcing the crew to paint out structures and avoid rush hour. During winter shoots, the unheated water plummeted to 40 degrees, forcing Bob Denver to wear a hidden wetsuit under his famous red shirt. The ultimate irony came in 1995 when the legendary lagoon was drained and paved over to become an employee parking lot. The island paradise they spent years trying to escape ended up meeting the most Hollywood fate of all, a slab of asphalt. If you're enjoying these secrets, take a second to hit subscribe and like this video. Your support helps us bring you the untold stories of classic TV, and we love having you in the Sitcom Secrets family. Fact 5. The Calypso theme penned by a cinematic maestro. The iconic sea shanty we all sing along to was actually a replacement for a bizarre calypso track composed by a man who went on to write the most famous cinematic music in history. Before he composed the legendary scores for Star Wars, Jaws, and Indiana Jones, a young musician named John Williams, then credited as a Johnny Williams, was hired to write the theme song for the unaired pilot. Williams delivered a rhythmic calypso tune featuring bongos and a fast tempo. To make things more surreal, the vocals were performed by show creator Sherwood Schwartz, who sang in a mock Caribbean accent. This version also featured the lyric 6-hour ride instead of 3-hour tour. The network disliked the song, prompting the creation of the classic sea shanty. Hearing the mastermind behind the Star Wars march write bongo-heavy calypso music is a jarring reminder of how composers must pay their dues. The theme song would undergo another massive shift later, thanks to an ultimatum that we'll cover in Fact 3. Fact 4. The tragic flag flying in the opening credits. If you look closely at the opening credits of the first season, you can spot a somber, real-world tragedy hiding in plain sight in Honolulu Harbor. The production of the pilot episode was interrupted by one of the most devastating events in American history. On November 22, 1963, the cast and crew were filming the final sequence of the SS Minnow leaving the harbor in Hawaii when news broke that President John F. Kennedy had been assassinated. Filming was immediately halted, and a national period of mourning began, during which all flags at federal installations were lowered. Because the production crew had already captured the footage of the boat departing, they used it in the opening credits of the first season. Viewers who pay close attention can see an American flag flying at half-mast in the background as the ship sets sail. This accidental inclusion stands as a permanent time capsule, forever linking a light-hearted comedy to a dark moment of national grief. It is a sobering reminder that even escapist entertainment is ultimately bound to real-world history. Fact 3. The star's billing ultimatum for the cast. Most fans don't realize that the final lines of the famous theme song were changed not by the network's choice, but by a high-stakes contract threat from the show's biggest star. During the first season, the theme song ended with a dismissive lyric, and the rest, completely ignoring Russell Johnson's Professor and Dawn Wells' Mary Ann. This was due to billing clauses in other contracts, particularly Tina Louise's, which required her to be billed last. Bob Denver, who played Gilligan, felt this was disrespectful. Denver demanded his co-stars be named, and when executives refused, he used his own leverage, threatening to move his name to the end of the credits to join the rest. The studio relented, re-recording the song for Season 2. Denver's willingness to put his own billing on the line to support his co-stars is a rare display of integrity in a notoriously cutthroat industry. This solidarity kept the cast united, but it couldn't save them from the network's most shocking backstab of all, which we'll reveal at Fact 1. Fact 2. The secret real estate fortune and hidden age of Lovie Howell. The actress who played the pampered millionaire Lovie Howell wasn't just acting, she was actually a wealthy real estate mogul who only took the role for a free tropical vacation. Natalie Schafer, who played Lovie, was already a self-made millionaire before she ever set foot on the island. In the 1940s and 1950s, she invested heavily in Beverly Hills real estate when prices were low, accumulating a massive fortune. She only agreed to do the pilot because she wanted a free trip to Hawaii, believing the silly show would never sell. When CBS picked up the series, she was devastated because it meant staying in Los Angeles. Schafer was also protective of her age, lying to producers by claiming she was born in 1912 instead of 1900, a secret kept until her obituary was published in 1991. It is hilarious that the one castaway who desperately wanted the show to sink was the real-life millionaire who did not need the paycheck. She was the ultimate Howell, treating a TV series as nothing more than a convenient excuse for a luxury holiday. Fact 1. The outrageous cancellation to save a fading western. Fans spent decades wondering why the castaways never received a proper series finale, but the truth is that they were sacrificed to appease the wife of a powerful network boss. By the end of its third season, Gilligan's Island had solid ratings, and CBS executives verbally promised a fourth season. In anticipation, several actors even bought homes in Los Angeles. However, CBS had also decided to cancel the Western Gunsmoke. When CBS chairman William S. Paley returned from vacation, he was furious to find his favorite show cancelled, and his wife, Babe Paley, urged him to save it. Paley ordered Gunsmoke reinstated, and to find a primetime slot, executives abruptly cancelled Gilligan's Island last minute, leaving the cast stranded without a proper finale. The tragedy of the SS Minnow is that they weren't defeated by a storm, but by network politics and the preferences of an executive's wife. It is a cynical end, proving the harshest wilderness is the corporate boardroom. Despite the abrupt end to their tour, Gilligan's Island remains one of the most culturally significant sitcoms of the 20th century. Decades of syndication have entertained generations who fell in love with these tropical adventures. It proved that a high-concept premise and perfect cast could create enduring television magic. As a reward for watching to the end, here is one final bonus secret. The SS Minnow was a subtle insult to FCC chairman Newton Minnow, who famously called television a vast wasteland. Creator Sherwood Schwartz wanted to sink the man who tried to overregulate his industry, adding an extra end to make it subtle. If you want to uncover the truth behind classic shows, hit the subscribe button. For today's discussion, which of the 7 castaways was your favorite, and why? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time on Sitcom Secrets.